I really don't know how long I'll be able to stream, but we'll keep the party going, as they like to say.
I definitely dig it.
Yeah, man. I got projects to finish and people a little pressed, man.
Let's dance. Do you wanna?
They ready to get that work in.
Yeah. It's gonna be a good 2022.
Let's dance.
Very
Do you wanna dance with me?
I definitely feel you on that. I'm over here looking at this worldwide. Over here looking at this whole metaverse situation. Talking about where baby there's the face in it.
Oh yeah, I have no comment on that one.
I'm like, this getting wild. It's virtual and it's selling.
Why stand here just pretending
It's
to
gonna
be?
move.
Why someone who you're not when you just wanna be free? Be free. Take my hand and come along with me. Take my hand. Together we could lose control. Let's go. Why stay home? We go watch TV. The night's still young and so are we. And less folk in the club like we. Dressed all up like the shop Macy's. Shoes off so you mean business. People got around just to get that gist. Start moving to the beat just like this. Side to side with a hint of twist. Real thing you at the top of my list. You never have to worry about getting dismissed. Especially happening in a time like this. When everybody in the club is witness. Follow my lead, move just like this. Press on my body beats just like this. Do what you wanna do, I insist. The thoughts in my head, pure worthlessness. Why stand there just pretending to be? Why someone who you're not when you just wanna be free? Be free. Take my hand and come along with me. Take my hand. Together we could lose control. Let's go. Cool vibes, I like this feeling. Eyes wide shut, hands up to the ceiling. The body what you got, girl. So appealing, jiggling your waist, cause I know that's teasing. Come on, you last, some more know about you. Just a little bit when away from crew. Loosen all up when sipping on brew. By the end of the night, I'm going home with you.
I can tell by the way she sways, she waving on something. Drink good, smoke better. Hips don't lie, far from Shakira. They called me just to come and get her. Ain't no stalling me, so I'm front and center. Actually, from the back, I'm so attached. She drop it low, you already know that I'm down there with her. Tryna see what's good with this motion. Pop it fast, wine slow. Ride got me straight coasting. Hands free, I'm in the zone. About to lock this off for the night, true. Ain't no telling what we might do. With the right mood and the right move. Might wake up in Cancun with our clothes off. This your song. Go, let me see what this shit can do. Last chance for this last dance. You already know I'm about to act a fool. And I know that she know what she doing. She look on my face, I'm bait, she do it. One to the face already on ruin. All the party can't done till the train run through it. Let me see what it's doing.
Why stand there just pretending to be? Why someone who you're not when you just wanna be free? Be free. Take my hand and come along with me. Take my hand. Together we could lose control. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
All right, man. Let's get into this whole thing, man. Like I said, I'm gonna make this one. I don't want to say short, but you know, I'm gonna make it do what it do, like it always do. Dear, where you at, man? Where?
I'm right here, man. I'm right here.
Where have you gone?
Oh, I had to pop off for a second. Had to get ready on something. So I know you can hit me with that music later. Had to get my selection and mindset right.
What does that mean, bro?
Oh, I had to find the record.
Well, can we see the face, man?
Oh, you can't see? Let me pull this back real quick. You see me now?
No.
Still not styling and profiling on him. Oh, man.
Nope.
You see it. That's crazy. Oh, I see what happened. 1,000 apologies. I see the situation. I was trying to switch out the platform. They took the camera off me.
Theo, you so washed, bro. How do you not know? How do you not know? Just how?
You know the crazy thing, you know what I'm saying? Since they invented this thing called FaceTime, that's 9 times out of 10 the only thing I use. So when I get on the Zoom, sometimes I forget when you switch platforms, that camera cut off. I'll be thinking it's still watching me while I'm moving.
All right, man. I got you. Well, look, we're here. We both didn't had a pretty crazy week. Well, I didn't have a crazy week, but Theo, how was your week? What are you working on, sir?
Right now, I'm just working on this school situation. Also, shout out to your water jug right there. I see you putting in work. That's real. That's real. I'm trying to get like you in that situation. I definitely got to get it in. You know what I'm saying? Get your 8 glasses in a day for sure, for sure. But right now I'm just working on this master class. And when I say master class, I don't mean a master class. I mean a legit master's program.
What's
That's I know that word is synonymous with everything else now. So yeah, I got to make sure I make those distinctions.
what's the degree in?
It's going to be in mass communications with an emphasis in PR.
Okay, nice, nice.
Yeah, so I'm getting my MS in communications, trying to level up. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Well, why you level up and leaving us to rest behind? Loan me $20.
Nothing. You know what? You know what?
Lo-
Nah, man, nah. I be trying to tell everybody, man. I say, listen, I'm trying to get like y'all living y'all best lives out here. I'm trying to get in these studio sessions and everywhere else. I'm trying to get established in that sense. You know what I'm saying? This is just my pathway to get there.
I got you. Well, I respect it. I respect it. My week has been hasn't been hectic. It's just that it's picking back up. I can tell people are getting back into offices because now I'm starting to get
Mm,
emails and calls back, and people are. It's one thing I like about the business. People always work on like a frantic speed. Like everything has to get done now. Just like
mm-hmm,
I know what's gonna happen. Like it's hurry up and wait. I know this,
mm-hmm.
but I need to get my brand out there. I'm noticing I'm having conversations like I'm some sort of like podunk producer who's trying to find his way. I just had a conversation with somebody, um, somebody I may be hiring for services for 2022 to really help Room 380 go over the top. And as I
Mm,
was talking to her, and I think I'll blog about this tonight. As I was talking to her, I realized that I'm too small for the big time, but I'm too big for the small timers. I'm in this weird space where like if you're an indie artist, you had to have like a real budget to work with it. And it's not anything, it's not even boastful, it's just that we offer way too much when you hire us to work in your record. And then on the other
mm-hmm.
side of that, we don't have the catalog to go walk like straight into like Warner and be like, yo, this is the price. Let's work with your new artist. So it's this
Right.
really weird space, and I felt like I've been in the space almost a year now, whereas it's weird. It's weird. I never
So
been here before.
that's that almost indie major stage where it's like
That
I'm definitely past that independent stage, but
yeah
I'm not quite that yo. You know what I'm saying? I definitely feel you coming from. You can't walk up in 2 Chainz office and be like, "Yo, listen, I got the next hottest record for you," but at the same time, you're not that cat on the streets no more.
no
You know what I'm saying? We definitely doing things right now.
yeah I'm somewhere between DJ Payne one and a guy that just made his first 10,000 on BeatStars.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's just like anyway. But
You know what?
anyway,
I think they call it middle class somewhere in the reality of things. I'm not even gonna front you. I just had this conversation with my you think I'm dead serious. You think I'm being funny, but dead serious. I had this conversation with my wife earlier. She's like, being middle class might be the most painful situation to be in. Simply because, well, at least when you lower class, you can say, well, I can get assistance, et cetera, et cetera. When you rich or in that wealthier circumstance, you don't necessarily need the assistance, even though they know how to beat the system. You know
right.
what I'm saying? You in middle class, it's like you make enough money to know that you good, but at the same time, if shit hit the fan, you don't know exactly who you can turn to. 'Cause you can't look forward and say most instances, yo, government, I need X, Y, and Z. They're gonna say, nah, you make way too much money. At the
Yeah.
same time, you're gonna look back at them and be like, I hear what you saying, but that's not quite what my
That's not quite
that's
what's
real.
going on. So yeah, that's a good description. So yeah, I guess I'm in the middle class of where I'm at right now, which is it's cool, but at the same time, like man, I would love to level up. Um,
I
yeah,
feel you. I feel you.
yeah, but it is what it is, man. But let's go ahead and jump into the stuff, man. So I feel like a lot has happened, but also a lot has not happened at the same
Hmm.
time. Where do we want to start? Actually, let's start with drama, just for the sake of clicks. I kind of want to get into this whole Billie Eilish, Travis
Oh man.
Scott, Kanye thing. So, all right. So we're only gonna touch base on it just a little bit. We're not a salacious platform, but we kind of want to get into it just a little bit, only because it's the mesh of. Well, let me ask you this: would you consider Travis Scott a pop artist?
I mean, I wouldn't consider him in totality a pop artist unless we're just saying popular music in the sense that his music is popular. Then yes, to that capacity and definition. But I mean, I would definitely say his music dabbles in a pop and or alternative space, considering his fan base.
So but that's pop though. No.
But again, are we saying pop as in just his music's popular, or are we talking about like saying, oh no, he's a pop artist, as in the sense of saying he's a Justin Timberlake but raps? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like we have to make those distinctions these days.
Well,
speaking for pop music, you could just say in general sense, yes, he's popular. Kanye West to that category could be considered a pop artist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if you have your own festival. Really?
I see. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing there. I mean, I definitely see what you're doing. But that's becoming a common behavior in hip hop now. You know what I'm saying? You got the whole Jay-Z trying to do the Situation Rock Nation. Drake, quote unquote, does the situation in Canada. I mean, there's a couple of different situations.
So Jay-Z's not a pop artist, even though he has Made in America Festival, which is one of the biggest music festivals in the country.
Again, Jay-Z's a hip hop artist who makes incredibly popular music. So, in course, we can say he's definitely transitioned to the pop space. But if I were to look at him and just definitively say I would compare him in the traditional aspect of how we would look at a pop artist, he's a pop artist? No, I would say he's a rapper, hip hop artist, traditionally. But I would definitely say he's hugely popular in regards to sounds, and he's made incredible investments as a business individual to put him in spaces that one would quantify as pop. But again, that's what I'm saying. There's those distinctions in definition. If we're saying popular music, yes. If we're calling him a quote unquote pop artist, no. You know what I'm saying? It's like someone would say Billie Eilish is a quote unquote pop artist, definitively because of how popular she is, but also because in the sense that she's in that alt pop space, that alternative rock, but also with a pop flair. So arguably, I can understand where they're coming from. But when you look at rappers, it's rare that you call rappers who are true to the scent pop artists, unless you're talking about somebody like a Drake, who you know definitively is hitting that top 40 Billboard chart and working in that commercialized aspect to transition over.
All I'm hearing on this side is semantics, sir.
I mean, literally, that is what it is. It's technicality.
I get what you're saying about Jay-Z, but I don't know if I'm gonna let you slide and say that Travis Scott is not a pop artist. I'll keep it a buck with you. He has a huge festival, a humongous platform. Everything he does sells out. Yeah.
I would say he's a popular artist, without question.
Now, do I see him in like someone like, I'm gonna take it way back, like Bjork on like the same lineup? It could happen. Just saying. Y'all let us know in the chat. It's Travis Scott.
But again, I mean, if we be honest, he has music in a sense that inspires mosh pit like behavior.
Okay.
So arguably speaking, yes, I can see where the concept of someone saying, and even in that case, he'd be closer to a rock artist technically. But you get what I'm saying. I can see where someone would argue the other half of that conversation of saying that he's closer to a pop rock space than he is a hip hop space when it comes to certain behavior, certain mannerisms, certain styles of music, certain things that are, you know what I'm saying, kind of placed in context of conversation.
Okay. Tomato. Okay, cool. I'll let you have that since you made your point, but all right, cool. So wanted to touch base on it. The only reason why I even want to touch base on this whole thing, I saw it live on my timeline, right? When Billie Eilish. So for those of you that don't know, well, let's provide you with context. So Billie Eilish had a show, and she was performing, and it appeared that someone had dropped their inhaler on the floor. I don't know how she saw this in a large group of people, but someone dropped their inhaler, so she stops the entire show and says, "Hey, let that person see you already feel me." But anyway, hey, let this person get their inhaler. I commend her for that 100%. I'm with it. Until she says, "Hey, I stopped my shows to make sure people are okay."
Yeah, that right there is
Why?
crazy.
I'm literally just, and I get what she says here in the quote. Literally never said a thing about Travis, was just helping a fan. I get it.
Right.
But Billy, you don't live under a rock. You're out here. You're super out here. You know that was gonna be taken some sort of way. Now let's keep it above
Yeah,
50.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm all the way not gonna lie. In today's society, somebody gonna try to drag me through the comments of this, but in today's society, we super soft about everything that people say. So I mean, let's play devil's advocate. Let's just say, hypothetically speaking, she didn't actually mean it towards Travis. Let's just say on some all the way 100, she's like, "Yo, listen, there's something going down in my concert. I'm gonna stop and we're gonna let this happen." Let's say she didn't mean a slight. Just the timing of it, people are going to try and get after her ass. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah,
it's
but
Billie. She's super mega in that instant. But I mean, I dig what they saying though. It just, the timing of it just seems crazy.
Let me see if I can, hold on. Give me a second. Let's see if I can find out exactly what
I'm
she
curious,
said.
did she respond?
Hold up. Let me see if I can find what she said exactly.
I'm a hope she didn't put herself in that box. But I don't know, man.
Oh no,
That's like, I
if this
remember
is
watching
coming up, then
interviews
yeah, I
with
didn't
Lil
save
Wayne.
it. I didn't say it.
And I about to say, I remember watching interviews with Lil Wayne where he's like, "Bro, I don't even know half the rappers in the game right now." So I mean, I don't know. Some of these celebrities, for real, be literally tuned out to the world. So it'd be
If
crazy.
the incident
but
was so big, it made CNN and Travis Scott had to do a whole special with Charlamagne the God, and it's everywhere, and everyone is making a thing of, "Hey, we're gonna stop our shows to make sure our fans are okay," throwing shots at him. She should be fine. If she didn't know, fine. But she should know. She should be aware enough to know, "Hey, I probably shouldn't say this."
Yeah, I mean, in the just it's crazy because it's like in the timing of it all. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have said that just based on the timing
Hold on,
and just how it definitely could be taken.
Okay, this is what she
I
said.
just-
Listen, okay. Do you need an inhaler? Who needs it? Pointing to the guy in the crowd. Do we have an inhaler? Can we just grab one? Guys, give it some time. Don't crowd. We're taking care of our people. Hold on. I wait for people to be okay until I keep going.
Yeah,
Come on, fam. And I listen. Y'all know I've gone on Twitter multiple times. I love Billie Eilish's music. I love how she has evolved as an artist between these last two albums. But fam, someone should have. I know someone had to pull her to the side, but like, come on, B. Like, what we doing? Like, what we doing?
This is the biggest situation since dealing with Taylor Swift and Kanye West. Come on, man, what you doing?
Like, come on, man, what we doing? Like why? It was unnecessary. That's all I have to say about it. Again, that's the only salacious thing we're gonna say today. We're gonna get into the real stuff. The reason why you guys even showed up. So let's get to it.
I guess they figured. Well, I ain't gonna say that because somebody get upset for real. Never mind. You right. We're gonna close that.
Yeah, we're gonna close that out. We're gonna keep it moving. All right. Yo Gotti clears verses for Dolla Fo Dolla mass recording so people can add verses and earn revenue. So you brought this to my attention. I didn't even know that this was going on. I did see a lot of remixes, but I thought that was just the thing. Give us a bit more insight as to what's going on here.
Well, again, anytime we speak on these situations, we have to let people know it's just purely hypothetical. As we said, we are not in anybody's boardroom.
We don't know exactly
what's going on with these deals.
Please understand that. I did have a phone call with a guy. Let me turn myself down. I feel like I'm too loud. I did have a phone call with a guy in the A&R out in Virginia. And he was saying he commended me on giving real insight in regards to what goes on in the business. But I do have to let people know, like, fam, I'm not in these boardroom. And also keep in mind, like, there's a lot of information that I know I just not going to speak on because it's just not my place. Like, there are one day I will talk about an incident that happened that was a major win that I could not speak on, and that's all I can say about it. But it's because that's the business. But anyway, go ahead,
Mhm.
Theo.
I mean, honestly, I was like I told the homies, I said the situation's interesting. I mean, from his standpoint, I mean, he's already winning. Don't get me wrong, but this creates an interesting circumstance from a copyright standpoint because it's like when you consider registration, when you deal with a DSP, you're downloading this record, and it's like his verses are clearly there. From when I last saw, this is not just a straight instrumental. Like he's still over the record. You know what I'm saying? So it's like in that instance of registration, you have to say, okay, submit it to your PRO. All right, publishing conversation comes in. All right, what is this money situation looking like? How are we breaking this down? He's saying, oh, well, you guys keep all the money, do what you do, et cetera, et cetera. Well, I can't say that he said specifically the words keep all the money. He just said, I'm going to allow you guys to make money from it. But I'm like, from a publishing standpoint, him being a writer on this record, from a registration standpoint, technically he's owed a royalty. So I'm like, if anybody does their paperwork correctly with regards to getting this record pushed through, I mean, this man's going to win again. And it's interesting how it's happening.
So is it the hell is this? So is it kind of like, so I had a lot of questions on this thing. So one of the questions that I asked is this a what was the term? Is this a common creative license? Is that what we're looking at here?
Yeah, Creative Commons license. So
wait, hold on. Do y'all
again,
know?
I
Hold on. We gotta explain that to our viewers. What that is. I can explain. I can explain it in layman's terms. So a Creative Commons license is basically when a piece of music or intellectual property has been dubbed as public domain, meaning you can do whatever you want with it and however, because it's just out there in the ether for anyone to use. So for instance, like you notice everyone comes out with like a Christmas album during the I'm looking over here, everyone comes out with like a Christmas album every year, and no one has to clear any samples because those Christmas songs they have a Creative Commons license, which means they can put it out, they can monetize it, they can do whatever they want with it, and then they're good. So I was thinking, was he doing the same thing? But what you're saying is not quite correct.
And see, again, speaking hypothetical, there's always there's always a chance that is the case. But at the same time, it'd be weird to say that he's basically saying, from a songwriter standpoint, from him, his literary work, his composition aspect, not the masters, that he's just basically saying, yeah, I don't want anything from it from any other record that goes live. And even in that instance, it's like if you were to waive that, you know what I'm saying, that your ownership to that is like, okay, who are you waiving it to? Someone's collecting. You know what I'm saying? It's just a matter of someone else basically reporting. Like, even if you say, I don't want it, someone else gets it. A PRO sits on the table, they distribute it. If you say, all right, I'm going to issue it over to publishing company, etc., they collect it, it's their money. But there's still money on the table.
So, because the question I asked was, if he does this, they still have to register him in either DistroKid, TuneCore, Cobalt, or CD Baby, or whatever, and say,
right,
hey, he still has to get X amount of percentage. So there's a form they fill out, right? Or no?
So I don't use DistroKid, but to my understanding, DistroKid does have a form with regards to how the percentages aspects breaks down, right, and what that actually looks like.
Well, sorry. The better question I'm asking is, how does he get paid? Or is this a loss leader for him? He just put a song out that everyone can remix and put out themselves.
So that's where it gets incredibly interesting. I mean, because it's a matter of where it's getting registered. So from a DSP standpoint, if we're talking about, hey, this is posted on Spotify and let's say there's 100 different versions of this record, technically speaking, when Spotify pays out on this song to all these different individuals, it 9 times out of 10 comes down to them or their camp to say, okay, now this money needs to break down to X, Y, and Z. Right. He's not even technically saying, I want that. He's saying, yo, I'm giving you the opportunity to make that money and do your thing. The trick to the situation that makes me interesting is more so on the secondary side, the composition, because most people don't realize outside of the song actually being streamed and giving you that money just because it was streamed, it technically makes that royalty because it's a public performance. And that's based on you being the composition owner, you, the writer of that record. not necessarily dealing with the master itself. It's just the fact that the song as a whole was played in a public space. That is your copyright, in which case you are entitled to money. So I'm like, okay, if you are registered with a PRO, and then in that same sense, well, as we know he's registered, so
Right.
you're putting this information on your PRO, and let's just say you search Yo Gotti's name just to associate and assign his information to the record, just to make sure you're being clean about everything. Let's say his publisher pops up in that conversation. Instantly, when that money and stuff's going out, his publisher is going to be tracking. Hey, oh, let me go find where this is. Let me see what's going on. Cents on the dollar, cents on the dollars everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So it's like he stands, from my understanding of what copyright does, just on a general aspect, he stands to make money as a songwriter, the composition owner of that record.
Okay.
Not necessarily dealing with the master recording. Because again, he's like, yo, go out, do your thing, make your money.
Well,
Because the mindset is, oh, people will record the record, they'll get streams just based on the fact that Yo Gotti's on the record, which could work, say for the first 30 to 50 records that come out on Spotify with this particular song, or for people that he's posting on his page and they say, yo, the full version's on, and then people go check it out in that capacity. You know what I'm saying? Over a while, it's going to die off, of course. It's just going to be too much in regards to saturation.
hold on, man. Zoom just gave me a notification, said they're gonna end it in 10 minutes. Hold up. What in the heezy?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, hold up. I know I got a premium account.
That's the first conversation right there. Like, wait, you got the free, you got the premium.
You know what, man? Let's go. Let's make this let's utilize our time, because I know like you got stuff going on, I got stuff going on. So let's go ahead and utilize the time. I'll handle this later. I'm not about to sit there and try to save it, do 10 zillion things live. We're not doing that. But anyway, so okay, so that's interesting. So he owns it as far as not the composition, but as a songwriter. But they still have to register.
No. So technically, so when you look at a record has two components.
Right.
So you have, as they call it, the old phonorecord, the master, sound recording, SR. Then you have your composition, PA.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? PA refers to the composition, which refers to you, the songwriter.
Okay.
So considering he wrote part of that record, that he's now, but technically he wrote the record, then he gave it to everybody else and said, yo, do your thing. He's telling you, yo, record a version of this particular record with me on it, with your version of the song. So add your lyrics. Still the beat, still his verses, add your component. That becomes the new master recording for everybody who's doing this.
Gotcha.
Now, in that same conversation, when they publicize this, it now becomes a commercial record. All these variations, derivatives, so to speak, of the original record that he created. Now, from what I've seen online, there is nothing in the conversation that's basically saying, yo, I'm not collecting money as a songwriter. There's nothing saying that he's waiving his rights to the record, at least nothing that I've seen. So if there is, I would love somebody to drop that in the comments. From what I saw, the comment state as the articles was writing is that he's basically saying, yo, go ahead and record your version, upload it commercially. So that means you can put it in Spotify, whatever, make your money on it. Basically saying, I'm going to allow you the opportunity to make your money on this record from a commercial standpoint, as well as in that same sense of you receiving the money for the actual stream itself, you receiving that back end money because you're also now a composition owner. You've also now wrote to this record. So considering it's being publicly played out loud, you also get money in that sense. And those instances are tracked by a publisher. They're like, yo, all right, let me see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So it's like in this capacity, we don't know what he's got going on the back end regarding him as the songwriter. But we understand as the master version, he's not worried about, oh, if this thing all of a sudden hits 5 million streams for one particular version of this song, he's not necessarily saying, yo, I want the money from that masters. You owe me whatever cents on the dollar.
Got it. Okay. This is a pretty dope play because this puts him in multiple different places. Is it possible that this could be some sort of data grab?
Possibly. I mean, anything can change. I mean, if you consider what we're trying to transition to in the internet, everybody's all of a sudden trying new things and new ways to kind of get the conversation shooken up. You know what I'm saying? Just to kind of see what hits, what doesn't hit, what'll land. You know what I'm saying? Because if this takes off, this very well could be I guess you could say, it could become a whole new circumstance of things. So you see everybody's doing the whole open verse challenge, but
Yeah,
it's a lot of indie artists trying to find collaborations.
and that goes back to what I was saying in the last episode, which is like anytime you see something become the standard, it's just like, so who pressed the button?
Hmm.
That's what I was
And that's
asking.
the thing. Right. And it's like those are collaborative efforts just to find, yo, who sounds really dope on this record. Yeah, I got all this exposure, but now from this exposure, I also found who would be a great fit from what the public is saying.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So it's like now it's like what they do with test pool records. It's like you get a label, they're like, all right, well, before we drop this, we're gonna go send this to test markets and see how it responds, see how DJs are floating with this, see how people are dealing with it. It's literally a free test market space that you're creating when you do stuff like that.
yeah,
Because not only are you getting the exposure, but you're potentially finding the right fit for that record. And because you've now found that fit through the exposure model, now when that record releases, you already have people who are in tune to the fact that this person had their own version. You make that the finalized copy. Now everybody wants that person on your record. So now they're rolling with the final as opposed to their version. Their version is the thing now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you automatically got a mini machine behind it, so to speak.
yeah. Okay, but I guess that makes sense. No, I mean it does. I think it's dope. I think it's pretty smart. It's gonna be interesting because again, it's going to bring a lot of light to his brand. It's also going to help the artist as well. I'm just wondering what we're looking at in the long term.
It's gonna be a copyright nightmare in the long term. You imagine everybody trying.
That's what I was thinking. Like,
Yeah,
so what happens if two different versions like really take off? Like, then what?
now that's gonna be a great question. You talking about if you had by chance somehow the exact same song on top 40 Billboard between 5 different slots, but it's literally Yo Gotti featuring 5 different. That's like having 5 different remixes, but they're not officially remixes.
Yeah. See.
That's crazy.
See.
I mean, that's a situation in itself. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh well, what do we do here in this particular situation? I mean, don't get me wrong, his team knows what to do, or at
Yeah.
least they're going to figure out how to capitalize on that situation. But again, we won't know exactly what direction it pulls because we don't know exactly what they're doing behind the scenes to capture that money completely.
Yeah.
Because it just doesn't make sense. Knowing how great of a businessman he is, it just doesn't make sense to say that he's just letting that money just float
Nah.
and just letting everything go out the door.
I think it's a loss leader. I think there's I mean, it's definitely a long term play, especially with the like I said, the Right Nation company that you had. See, I wish we had more time, but we got like 3 minutes left. We could really dive into it, but I think it's a loss leader in a sense, and I think this is gonna be a long term play because everyone who utilized that verse, I'm wondering, because he has to get something in exchange. You feel what I'm saying? I don't see CMG not having an accurate budget where
Right.
they can't just push this song out themselves. Like, you know, so
Definitely
stuff
not.
like that, like, oh, pretty cool, but what are we really getting after?
Right. What is your overall goal? Like I understand the whole, hey, you're trying to give artists an opportunity to grow, shine, et cetera, et cetera. But 9 times out of 10, there's something more to it than just that. Like it's like, all right, this creates this type of a specific opportunity on top of this particular situation.
Exactly.
Like there's always a goal behind the goal.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna wrap it up over there, cause me and Theo both got some. Well, Theo has his stuff he got to get to, and I got to work on a couple of projects tonight. I got a deadline this Monday, and then I got another one on Wednesday. But again, with you guys happening, like I said, we just want you to look at this stuff a little different in preparation as you as an indie, as you navigate, try and get to your goals and get to your fans, and raise the amount of revenue that you are having, and it just take these podcast episodes just as a business, music business study, because again, we'll cite source and we'll, I guess, not brainstorm. What's the word? We'll discuss this stuff so you can see it in real time. Just to getting you to think about it just a little differently. But yeah, that's all I got, man.
I will say this, man. Anybody who really wants to get to that money in music as an artist, definitely check out Copyright. You need to know what's going on because that's where your money truly is. everybody say, "Oh, I gave away my publishing," or such and such traded away their publishing. It's like you keep hearing that term, you need to look into copyright law and understand the difference between what's called a PA and a SR.
Yeah. And we'll dive into that a bit more next time. But Theo, it was a pleasure. Y'all
Most
take
def.
care. It's Thursday. It's in the mid 50s here in New York. No such thing as global warming and climate change. You already know what it is, man. Y'all be easy.